Hey guys, Steph Roberts here, and I am here with a follow-up to my last video where I talked about the Gabby Petito case and what I saw as obvious flags in the first police cam video. The second one is way more overt. You can see her crying. You can see so many things that are far more obvious, but I wanted to kind of loop back because looking at the comments and people's conversations about this case, both online and on TV and in interviews, it's really confusing to people who are not familiar with abuse. And one of the things that comes up is this question of why do survivors blame themselves? And I am not a professional. I have definitely been through abuse, and I have a podcast where I talk to people who've been through emotional abuse, physical abuse, all kinds of things, as well as experts. And I've spent the last 6 or 7 years consuming way too much of this content, as well as reading research and books. And the main thing that I see that I think people don't understand is that when you are every single day told that you're not good enough and that you're basically being torn down daily, and it doesn't start like that. These people that get involved in relationships with people who are abusers, that person is really smart and knows exactly what to do to charm the person they're pursuing, male or female. And then they hit a point where they feel really, really comfortable. And usually it's a very specific place in life. They either maybe if it's a man, he gets the woman pregnant. This is very, very common. So then he feels relaxed, like, oh, now she's stuck with me forever. Moving in together, buying a house together, getting engaged, getting married. Those are big things that people do that give the abuser confidence that, okay, now this person is mine. And that's a time when they often shift. And this is kind of classic. If you start reading about it, there is a time when they just kind of feel more comfortable and they feel like they don't have to be working to gain your confidence or be as pleasing or positively manipulative anymore. So now they've got you. Then this other side starts coming out, and it can come out in subtle, small ways, like, oh, you didn't put the ketchup away the right way, or you forgot to clean up, or you know that I like my steak cooked this way. Why did you cook it that way? Or why are you wearing your hair like that? That doesn't look good on you. Or you put on a few pounds. Or I don't like it when you wear lipstick. Don't wear lipstick anymore. Like, just trying to make a comment and kind of ease into controlling their victim. And this, over time, every single day, when what you're doing, when you're living with this person and they're a big part of your life, and imagine living in a teeny tiny space like a van, it's even more extreme. So you're being watched, you're walking on eggshells, and every single thing you do is criticized or could potentially set off that other person, where they're either going to berate you with negativity and toxic words, or they're just going to freak out and have like a tantrum, possibly physically harm you or threaten you. And they're very, very controlling. So when people blame themselves, they over time get really used to covering for the person that they live with. Like, oh, they're standing in the room with that person, and let's say their parents are around, and their parents say something that they know might set off the boyfriend, the fiance, the husband. Well, the woman in that case, or same sex, the partner, would know internally, oh, I gotta cover for my mate, my partner. And they just know what those things are. And over time, it becomes so ingrained in their way of behaving when that person's around, that even when they're not physically in the room, they still know that information can get back to them, or they know that it could come full circle, and that they could suffer for having spoken their mind and not covered up. So when we saw Gabby saying, oh, right away, like, it's my fault, I hit him first, she's crying, she can't breathe, she's looks like she's dehydrated. She's asking for water. It seemed to people who followed her social media that he was also potentially controlling her food, controlling her water intake, because he didn't believe in plastic bottles. Had all these weird quirks, and you wouldn't see those right away, but if you look and dig a little deeper and you look at some of her videos, you can see it was controlling her, and she was very timid around this. And I think she just ritualistically got used to feeling like everything was her fault. She needed to apologize all the time and take the blame, because that was the easiest way out. That was a way to avoid a fight. That was a way to avoid any physical aggression and any threats, or just, kind of going with the flow. So that's all I wanted to share, is just that one point, is that it is not as simple as people think. There's usually something that builds up over time. It doesn't start out the way that it may wind up in the end. It starts out in a very different scenario with a kind of partner where they're on the same level, and then over time it degrades, where the one person is controlling the other person and saying negative things and bringing them down, and ritualistically keeping them small, keeping them second-guessing themselves, second-guessing their own thoughts, feeling like really everything is their fault. It's a terrible way to live, a terrible way to live. And to me, when I see those videos with her, that's what I see. I see a victim. I see that ritualistic, over time, emotionally exhausted and spent person. And it's really sad, but I'm so grateful to her and to her family. And I'm deeply grateful for Gabby, and that her loss was not in vain. The way that I see it is that she is the ultimate influencer in terms of domestic violence. She's shedding light on something that is an extremely complex type of abuse that typically is misunderstood, misdiagnosed, and often the victims are blamed for the situation. And there's a twist, a real reversal, where they're already abused, and then they're re-abused through the police and court and all kinds of things that follow that situation. And it's the one big reason why women do not get out, because people do not see what's happening. It's that hidden. It is that covert. And so I'm just really encouraged that, again, her death and her loss is not in vain. She's making a massive impact in the world of domestic violence and helping liberate so many women and men from these hidden types of abuse and these relationships. And hopefully she'll crack open a whole new type of training and awareness. And I'm really hoping that it goes down to the level of young children before they even start dating, so that they can learn to see what these signs are and what really is a healthy relationship. What are healthy boundaries, and how can you get out of these situations where you start to see small signs and then it increases. So if they know and are taught these signals, I think that, and these patterns, I think that they will be much more alert and aware of it, and be more empowered to step away when they see those things coming. Clearly, if all those officers missed it, as well as professionals, there's a lot more to be learned from this hidden type of abuse. So anyway, thank you for listening. I hope this was helpful. If you found this valuable and you want to share it, please do. If you want to continue subscribing to this channel, I cover topics for surviving beyond emotional abuse and control, and starting over, starting your own business, things like that. So learning how to thrive and be independent. And that's what this channel is all about, being audaciously yourself. Hope you guys have a great day, and I will see you on the next video. Take care.